Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today we'll be talking about how to deal with loneliness as a single man. This is something that plagues you when you're single. This is something that I've noticed that comes up time and time again. It's something that I get messages about, and loneliness is something that's a part of human nature. And how we deal with it and overcome it really defines our character. I understand the temptation to run into a relationship because loneliness is such a prevalent feeling. It's the idea that you don't have a community to belong to, the idea that you want to develop intimacy, but you don't have the options or opportunity to do so. It's something that every man struggles with, and this is something that can change. We have to recognize that it's possible. Loneliness comes from the scarcity mindset and scarcity of options. Abundance is when you have a ton of options and opportunities laying around. Loneliness kind of typically fades away because you actually have a choice. I feel like being alone out of your own discretion, your own choice, because you have a lot of opportunities to go intermingle, but you're choosing to be alone is a powerful statement. Versus being alone and lonely is the only option that you have. You lack the options to go out and interact with the community, to develop intimate relationships, but you want to, but you don't know how to. It's something that you've never been taught. They don't teach dating and social dynamics in school. It's something that is taught in the school of life. And if you've only followed the script that was given to you, you're probably emotionally behind. But the good thing is it can change, but realize you have an uphill battle to fight. You're a full-grown adult without the social skills and nuances to recognize human behaviors and develop intimate relationships. Recognize that. I think recognize that is the first step in taking this challenge on. This is something that I personally struggled with when I was younger. I followed the Asian script for a little bit, focusing on school and didn't pay too much mind to my social interactions. I wanted to go to school, graduate, then go to college. Once I go to college, graduate and get a job. It was almost as if my entire life's purpose was in attaining a job. But I realized that you can't do that. Recognize that the relationships and community that you build will actually land you a better job than getting all A's and interacting with zero people. Recognize that it's not being the smartest and most hardworking person in the room. Realize that that is a factor, but who you know and if the opportunities have been presented to you. It's whether people like you or not. I remember when I was younger, I just felt so lonely. I remember I would just go to school and play video games. And while you can build a community online, there's some merit to that, but it can't replace genuine human interaction face to face. It's something that is ingrained in our DNA. We need people. I know that we get promoted about the lone wolf mentality. Just recognize that might be a minority of the population. Personally, I can't go an extended period of time without seeing people. I love interacting with my friends. I love the support and I love joking around. I love the intimacy of that. Flesh to flesh, just seeing eye to eye, talking to your buddies, shaking hands, and having a relationship with your partner, right? I am so thankful for Hadley, having someone there where I can just speak my mind, be open, sometimes vulnerable, as well as being a masculine man where I can just say my pure thoughts unhindered, not biased, and speak my personal truth and have someone understand me on an intellectual, spiritual, emotional level, while on a physical level is absolutely amazing. I'm really thankful for that. But how did I get there? Realize that you need to develop yourself first. I know this is not an easy hack. Developing yourself into the man that you want to be takes time. Realize that you have to interact with people from different races, ethnicities, people from different socioeconomic backgrounds from you, and start to empathize. You have to develop the social nuances where you can pick that up. Being able to look someone in the eye, being able to participate in a conversation, recognize when you're being weird, recognize when you're being creepy, and realizing social dynamics. I definitely feel like you don't want to be labeled as a weirdo creep because you will be ostracized from the group. This is a safety mechanism. We all know that guy who lacks social awareness for their own actions, and it's absolutely kind of an uncomfortable feeling because they don't get the hint. It's almost as if everyone in the room gets this message, but they just will not get it. It's this underlying social message. But you have to become properly socialized. So how do you do this? Recognize that yes, you are lonely, but go out. Do stuff that requires other human beings. And if you don't know where to start, go to the gym. Start working on your body, work on your mentality, drop the old beliefs and habits that no longer serve you. And while you're at the gym, start talking to people, saying hi. While you go to the grocery store, get normalized in interacting with people. Interact with the clerk. Interact with people online. Don't be on your phone. I recognize that people of our age, Gen Z millennials, when we're in an awkward situation, we use our phones as a scapegoat. Instead of sitting there and talking to someone in the elevator, we go on our phone. Even if we're not doing anything, we're on our phone looking at the weather because we use our phone as an escape from things being awkward. Ask people how their day is going. Okay, whether it leads to a conversation or not, acknowledge that. When you're walking, wave to people. If you're in a safe area, okay, don't be waving at dangerous strangers if you're not living in a safe environment. So recognize that. And once you start doing that, start finding a community. Put yourself on the line, but you have to develop something. You have to develop value. You have to develop value that you can give to your community. Confidence and competence develops with time. And realize that you might have a ton of insecurities holding you back. Look, we all have insecurities, but learn to master that. Learn to master your own presence. If you can't stand to be alone, recognize that other people probably can't stand you. I'm not saying, there's feelings of I want to go interact with people, but you cannot be a leech. You cannot be a parasite. You cannot go to social interactions and take and give nothing. You cannot be an asshole, okay? Be a kind, empathetic friend. Be there for people. But I'm also saying don't be a people pleaser. It's this fine line you have to balance, because you don't want to be the people pleaser who always says yes and never says no. Yes is meaningless unless you can say no. You have to develop your own backbone on what you believe in and what you'll tolerate. But realize loneliness as a young adult man who is single is something that you need to conquer, especially if you don't have good friends. I would really implore you to start finding traits that you want to have and exhibit that by yourself, and go and find nice friends. I realize that when you're younger, it seems like everyone is immature, right? But go and find the kindest person of your friend group, of your class, and just befriend them. Whether they're nerdy or quirky, nerds will rule the world because late bloomers are a thing, okay? Recognize that and start finding a community. Find something that has a purpose. Find something that gets you out of your house. You can't do everything inside. Recognize that self-development usually isolates you. Self-development is something that happens alone. But you have to realize maybe development happens in groups and cohorts of healthy people, not toxic people. Start finding mentors, right? There has to be someone in your network, school teachers, professors, bosses, people in your gym, people in your social club. Go and develop a mentorship. Develop a relationship where you're asking the older generations for advice on how to navigate this world. There's some wisdom that cannot be lost when you interact with people of older ages. There's something miraculous and beautiful about that, as if they're teaching themselves, a younger version of themselves, how to navigate this arduous world. Because being a young man in this time is quite difficult. It's quite lonely. And I feel like, guys, we don't have a place where we can communicate our thoughts and feel like we belong. I'm really thankful for the group of friends that I have that I met at the cigar lounge that I frequently attend. The conversations and friendships that I've developed has absolutely changed my life and saved my relationship with myself and helped me navigate this as a young man. There's a camaraderie of developing a brotherhood, a fraternity that's quite important that I feel like we all need. I feel like you need a safe space legitimately where you can express your masculine thoughts without being torn down, without being told that you're toxic. There's something beautiful about that, where there's positive masculinity. There are positive mentorships, interactions where it's a band of brothers trying to dance in this world of fire and sin, right? Develop that. Find your band of brothers, find your tribe, and keep trying until you find it. And if you can't, maybe you're the problem. If you become the best version of yourself, I bet you'll be able to attract the friend group you want and partner one day. But realize that loneliness is just a single step in your journey, and it's something that plagues all of us. But realize you're the master of your own life, and you can't let loneliness determine your fate. Do not allow it to control your actions. Take action, action, action. Try to run as far as you can from these negative thoughts and eventually integrate that shadow into who you are. You can't run away from yourself. You have to learn to deal with yourself. Be with yourself. You can't treat yourself as the enemy. You are amazing, and learn to develop that. And if you don't think you're amazing, keep trying until you believe you are. Realize no one can tell you that you're amazing but yourself. No one can give you that source of approval. Not me, your mom, your mentors, but yourself. Once you believe that you're worthy, life will change. If you want to talk about this further, please email me at bedroomtalksconsult@gmail.com and set up a one-on-one consultation. It's quite affordable. If you want to see what I'm up to, follow me on Instagram at m.deep20. Everything's in the description below. As always, I wish you guys the absolute best. Namaste.